Did you know that the US government may be scouring your social media accounts to look for negative information that can be used to deny your asylum application? It's true, and according to a recent revelation, the Department of Homeland Security has broadened its use of deceptive tactics to dig up more dirt about you online. In this video, I'm going to tell you about a shocking new development that has many asylum seekers worried. Stick with me to the end of this video because I'm going to share with you my personal experience with this topic from when I worked for the government. I'm Brian Manning, and I used to be an asylum officer with the government, but now, as an asylum lawyer, I help immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. U.S. immigration agencies have been expanding their use of deceptive social media profiles to dig into a wide range of activities, according to newly disclosed documents. These were obtained through an open records request by a nonprofit organization. And the discovery raises fresh concerns about privacy and civil rights applying to both potential immigrants and U.S. citizens alike. Various parts or components of the Department of Homeland Security, which is known by its acronym DHS, including Customs and Border Protection, or CBP, and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, have been involved in these efforts. Now, officials have openly discussed creating alias accounts, essentially fabricated online personas, to conduct investigations, even though these practices could violate the platform's terms of service. Interestingly, records show that Facebook has contacted DHS to voice these concerns, seeing this as a violation of its user agreement. The immigration agencies have been gathering extensive information from social media, from physical addresses to relationships, employment records, and educational affiliations. And the data collected is preserved in individual files, whether or not it contradicts applicants' own provided information or really even seems relevant to adjudicating their immigration case. And this enables the agencies to accumulate large data sets on individuals, further expanding DHS's already substantial surveillance apparatus. In the broader landscape of law enforcement monitoring online activities, this practice is not new. Police have previously used fictitious profiles to monitor Black Lives Matter related activities and to collect personal information by befriending targets online. The core issue is not merely the existence of such fake profiles, but their potential misuse, which can lead to immigration rejections or even criminal prosecutions based on misinterpreted information. I'll say more about this in just a minute. From my time as an asylum officer with USCIS, the part of DHS that handles affirmative asylum cases. The recently revealed documents spanning several years confirm the practice of using alias accounts is in fact widespread. One policy document specifies that officers working in the Fraud Detection Unit for USCIS can utilize these deceptive profiles when vetting immigration benefit applications. This policy echoes a tactic first announced back in 2019. By the way, if you want to maximize your chances for asylum success, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you don't miss the insights that I share on this channel. Alright, the concerns around these practices extend beyond the specific DHS components that we've already mentioned today. In fact, it appears DHS collaborates with other government entities and even private companies in certain instances. And this raises significant questions around data sharing and potential abuse of the gathered information. For example, ICE has shared information with local police and even foreign governments before, although it remains unclear whether this included data obtained from social media. DHS's online surveillance tactics first caught Facebook's attention about 5 years ago. Now, at that time, the social media giant voiced its concerns about law enforcement's use of fake profiles, stating that it violated their user agreement. Facebook's parent company, Meta, has maintained this stance, insisting that all users, including the authorities, use their real identities on the platform. Yet even as questions and concerns mount, DHS spokespeople have not provided transparent answers. They affirm the department employs various technological tools in support of its mission, but they've not addressed directly these worries about deceptive social media practices. To be sure, ICE and other DHS components have tapped into an array of tools to enhance their online monitoring capabilities. For example, they previously had an agreement to utilize a service called Giant Oak Search Technology, which can scour the deep web and chat rooms and even foreign language sources for pertinent information. And while the CEO of that company stated that they no longer work with DHS, it demonstrates the lengths to which immigration agencies will go to collect data. Overall, the records reveal an unsettling picture of extensive online surveillance carried out under the banner of law enforcement and national security. The opaque nature of these practices, the ethical and legal questions they raise, and their potential for abuse make this a deeply concerning issue, warranting further investigation and public debate. Now, I've got to tell you, it doesn't take befriending a fake DHS profile on social media for the government to snoop on you. To be clear, they do sometimes check out your publicly available information online, starting with a Google search and then specifically checking popular social media platforms for information about you that is available to the public without requiring that you befriend or otherwise engage with them on a platform. And I saw this a lot when I was an asylum officer with USCIS. Officials did sometimes find derogatory information about people through their public social media content, and they did use it against them in their asylum interview. And the problem is that sometimes what they see gets taken out of context, and the way that it's used can be really unfair. I remember a colleague of mine at the asylum office seeing a picture of someone wearing a baseball hat of a pro-US baseball team in a photo on the person's Facebook page, and jumping to the conclusion that this person must have been a member of a gang that sometimes uses that team's logo. And this led to hours of questioning at the person's asylum interview about potential gang activity, but ultimately it led nowhere. It became clear that the person had no affiliation with a gang and nothing in their history that was cause for concern. But it took a lot of time and a lot of stress for the asylum applicant to reach these conclusions. And I'm sure that other applicants in similar situations are not so fortunate, that they end up getting denied when they shouldn't have. And the problem started because DHS found something on the person's social media or elsewhere online that looked like a red flag, but was in fact something completely innocent. It doesn't even have to be security-related information to hurt your case. There could be something that appears to undercut your asylum claim substantively, when in reality, it doesn't. The lesson here is this: if you value your privacy and want to lower the chances of misunderstandings leading to problems at your asylum interview or a denial, or even criminal charges being brought when they really shouldn't be, then you need to lock down all your social media settings. Also, don't accept friend requests from or otherwise engage with strangers online. Remember, they could really be government agents. If you're ready to take the next step and get help with your asylum case, then call my office today. That number is 713-352-1593. Remember, we help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you are. Call us now to schedule an asylum strategy session so that we can help you to secure your future in America through asylum. Again, I'm Brian Manning, and it's an honor to serve you in your asylum journey.